Good evening. I want to talk to you today about don't mislead customers. Now, here's what I'm talking about. A few weeks back, I was hired by a really nice guy by the name of Mike. Mike is a new real estate agent who's been in the game maybe 2.5 years, something like that. Now, when Mike initially got started, he was like red hot, like he was closing deals left and right, making all this money, bought him a new AMG Mercedes. Life is good for old Mike. So recently, within the last, let's say, month and a half, Mike hadn't been closing the amount of deals that he needs to close to keep up his particular lifestyle. Now, that's why Mike hired me. So when I got out to Mike's office, we were talking and stuff like that. And then I'm like, Mike, so what's going on? So upon talking to Mike, come to find out, the reason he's been dropping the ball on these deals right here is because he's been lying to his customers. He's been basically deceiving his customers. And he's been deceiving them by changing up the itinerary based upon how they look. See, that's what Mike does. Mike was telling me when he initially got started, he would basically judge people on, how they are, who they are. Once he started acquiring, their Mercedes, the new mortgage, a new baby or whatnot, just got married, bought his wife a brand new wedding ring, like a 3 or 4 carat solitaire, like stuff like that. It gets like all this debt and stuff like that kept piling up on Mike and keeps piling up on Mike. So Mike has to deceive customers and tell customers who are looking for a certain particular property, hey man, look here. This property here is already sold, but I got this other property over here that is 15,000 more, and you got a better view, yada 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 yada. But the property Mike was initially trying to sell the customer, the one the customer actually wanted, is actually still on the market. But Mike told a little white lie to deceive his clients to make that commission so that way he can pay his debt. So I was like, Mike, that is wrong in so many ways. I understand, being hungry. I understand that. But you shouldn't be lying and deceiving customers, telling them, oh, this property's already off the market, but we just ain't took it off the site yet. But you lying. You know this property right here is still right here. You still have this listing. The only thing is, with this house here, this was $250,000. So maybe your commission rate might be, let's say, 2 or 3,000, let's just say. And then this one over here is $650,000 or whatnot. And you're going to have a really good commission rate on this one here, opposed to that one. See, that's what Mike was doing. Mike was lying to customers. He wasn't doing nothing, like illegal or nothing like that. But he was just basically saying, this isn't right here, this isn't available, just so that way the customer can divert their attention from this home to this home. Because typically, whenever a real estate agent says, oh yeah, hey, John C. customer, this house is off the market, the customer's going to say, shit, what else you got? Close to that price range. And see, close to that price range is that $600,000 house that Mike was ushering them to look at. So as I kept talking to Mike, I'm like, Mike, see, that's the problem right there. That's why you are falling off the map, so to speak, because you have all of this debt, all of this pressure on you, Mike. So again, I understand, Mike, that you hungry, but you beyond the point of hunger. You're at a point of thirst because you have this lifestyle to keep up with. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. But don't deceive your customers and mislead your customers because you piled on all of this debt right here, Mike. You can't do that, man. You can't do that. Imagine how would your wife feel if she knew that you were doing this. Imagine that. Imagine how would you feel if the doctor who just gave, who just helped your wife deliver the baby into the world, what if they swapped your baby out? How would that have made you feel, Mike? Oh man, I wish a motherfucker would have done that to me, man. Mike, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's no different. See, sometimes in life, people, when they get called out on certain things, they go up here and try to put a defense mechanism up. But Mike, he knew I was right. And he knew he was wrong. And see, that's why he's been falling off the map, because customers have been seeing the houses that they initially requested on the market. They're like, damn, I thought Mike said this was purchased, but damn, Mike just signed a 30-year agreement on this home right here, but he said this wasn't available. Ain't no one in hell is back on the market this quick. What's going on? See, when Mike does that, those customers who Mike deceived into actually purchasing a home from him, what they do, they go back to their friends, cousins, aunties, TikTok, Twitter, the gram, all these places, and they put Mike on blast. So when they put Mike on blast, like, oh man, this is an old line agent right here. Oh, don't do business with Mike. Mike works for 123 Popsicle Real Estate Agency. Don't do business with them or Mike. Please, the real estate agent Mike, don't hire him. He's so thirsty, he probably can't even pay his car note. See, you never want customers posting stuff like that. You want customers posting the polar opposite of that. You want customers posting, woo, Mike, man, old Mike show pulled up pretty in that new AMG Mercedes. Man, Mike was on the ball. Mike was suited and booted. Mike knew the property. He knew what he was talking about. He didn't mislead me. He guided me into the right steps. He gave me the right numbers for the right mortgage officer. He did everything right. And he looked good while he was doing it. See, that's what you want your customers doing. You don't want your customers on, Facebook or social media talking trash about you because, oh, they see how thirsty you are because you lied to them. You misled them. See, you never want to ever mislead your customers. You never want to mislead your customers. Think of your customers as like your spouse. Now, honestly, you shouldn't be misleading your spouse, but some people do. But let's just say for the people who don't mislead their spouse. Think about your customer like your spouse. Never mislead your customer. If you mislead your customer, once your customer finds out, they're going to divorce you. Just like your spouse. If you mislead your spouse and they find out about it, shit, they might be gone. Depends on what you lied about. But never mislead customers into doing a certain thing that you want them to do. Now, another thing I talked to Mike about when he was telling me what he was doing, I said, Mike, okay, now, this customer right here wanted a $250,000 house. Allegedly, the next thing on the totem pole was his $600,000 house. So that means, Mike, don't you think that the customer would have to put a higher down payment down? The customer's mortgage is going to be higher. What if the customer can't get the bank funding from the mortgage officer? Like, what if they can't secure funding? Mike was like, oh, well, I guess I didn't think about that. I would just think, like I told him, Mike, respectfully, you have to make sure you do not mislead your customers, man, because you have a lot going on in life. Your customer did not make you pile on AMG Mercedes, mortgage, solitary note, you still paying for your wedding and stuff. Your customer didn't ask you to do that. That was a choice you decided to make. So you should not, Mike, be misleading customers into purchasing a higher tier home. Because if the customer can't get funding for the home, and you told them this house over here for $250 that they already was pre-approved for, already had the paperwork in hand. But if they can't secure that other $400,000 loan, you done missed out on the whole thing. You actually missed out, Mike, 3 different ways. You missed out on this $200,000 deal. Then you missed out on this $600,000 deal because your person couldn't get secure funding. And then you actually messed up in total with that person and their whole family. Everybody in this particular customer's orbit, Mike, this customer is going to go up there and let them know you ain't no good. And I guarantee you, word of mouth spreads faster than an Instagram post. So once word gets around town on you, Mike, that old SOB Mike right there, man, shit, he ain't no good. Don't be listening to him. Then, Mike, once that happens, how you gonna afford to pay your AMG note? How you gonna afford to go up and keep paying your wife's diamond solitaire off? How you gonna afford to pay back that $30,000 wedding that y'all had? How you gonna afford to pay that back, Mike? How you gonna do that, buddy? Mike, he couldn't really say nothing because I had him in a corner right there. He knew he couldn't really say nothing. And see, that's why you should never ever mislead your clients. Please don't let your life roll over into your client's life because of decisions that you made. Now you thirsty like a vampire during Halloween. You ready to go up here and suck the customer's blood from them, and the customer's blood is their money. So please don't be out here sucking blood from customers because of decisions in life that you made, that you stacked on top of each other, that has absolutely no benefits to the customer whatsoever. Mike's AMG doesn't have any benefit to the customer. The customer isn't out driving Mike's car because the customer's doing business with Mike. Mike's car ain't got nothing to do with the customer. But Mike's actions that he took made his car have to do with that customer that he lied to. See, that's what I'm talking about. See, you can't be out here misleading customers because customers are very, very savvy. And that brings me to my second point right here. Always tell the truth about the property. Never lie to customers about the property. If the property sits on 2 acres, make sure the house sits on 2 acres. 1.8 acres is not 2 acres. A quarter acre is not an acre. Make sure it's at least what you say it is. And because that was something else Mike was doing too. Mike was, oh man, yeah, I know on this right here, you see this lot size over here, but over here it's actually that. So you can't do anything like that. So again, please never, ever, ever mislead customers because once you mislead customers at one time, everybody who's in their orbit is going to know about you. You're going to have a bad name. And then once you get a bad name, it's hard to clear that bad name up. People will forget about it. But then once your name gets brung up, you will say, oh shit, bing, oh shit, I remember that guy. That was the dude who was, screwing people over or whatnot. Yeah, he was the one who told my cousin Lollipop that it was a $200,000 house, but it was still for sale, but he made him get this house. See, you don't want that. You don't want that. That's too much customer animosity. You don't want nothing like that. You want customers to say, oh, hey, Mike, hey, man, I want you to sell me a house. Mike, when my son gets out of high school, I'm going to let you sell him a house. I'm going to buy it for him. That's what you want your customers to say to you. You don't want your customers to be spreading no bad word or no bad lyrics or nothing like that about you because you ain't going to be able to make no money that way. I don't give a shit how fine you are. You ain't going to make no money like that. You're not. You need customers to be able to make money. And in order to be able to get customers, you do not never need to mislead anybody. And that about wraps it up for today's video. Until next time, I'll catch you later.